Stop scrolling. If you're shopping for a cruising sailboat in 2026, you're about to make the most expensive lifestyle purchase of your life, inside the weirdest transition the European boat industry has had in decades. Because the old rule was simple. You bought a monohull cruiser. You accepted the heel. You accepted the slow. You accepted the diesel smell. And you told yourself, that's just sailing. But 2026 is the year that rule breaks. Now you can buy a monohull that lives like a catamaran, a cruiser that actually planes and hits double digits, or a boat designed around electric and hybrid power from the start, not as a marketing sticker. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 7 best European cruising sailboats for 2026. And I'm not ranking them by hype. I'm ranking them by what they represent. The 7 boats that show you exactly where cruising is headed. And stick to the end, because I'll give you a super fast pick your philosophy guide. It's a simple decision tree you can literally screenshot in your head, and it will stop you from buying the wrong boat just because it looked good in a listing. All right, let's break 2026 down fast, and then we'll get into the boats. Here's the big picture. For years, European builders were basically selling the same idea with different logos. White fiberglass, moderate performance, a bigger cockpit every year, more windows, more light and airy. Same concept. Then COVID hit. Demand spiked, wait lists exploded, prices got weird, builders ramped production, and now the industry is coming out the other side with a very clear message. They're done making one boat for everyone. 2026 is specialization, and you can see it through 3 megatrends. Trend number 1, the monomaran. Monohulls that aggressively steal catamaran DNA. That means beam carried further forward and further aft, hard chines, and interior layouts that feel like a single-level apartment instead of a narrow cave down a ladder. Trend number 2, the democratization of planing. Planing used to be for race boats or niche brands or people who accept Spartan interiors. In 2026, planing is becoming a normal product category. Not if you're crazy, just an option. Trend number 3, propulsion becomes an ecosystem. Electric and hybrid are no longer bolt-on experiments. The boat is designed around batteries, regen, solar, and smart energy management from day one. That changes the entire ownership experience. So, when you look at these 7 boats, don't just think which is prettier. Think which one matches the life I actually want. Okay, boat number 1, Beneteau Oceanis 47. This is the benchmark, the default, the safe choice that's still very good.
The 45 to 50-foot segment is basically the battleground tonnage of European cruising. It's big enough to feel like a home. It's small enough that a couple can still run it without a paid crew. It dominates charter fleets. It's where people upgrade when they're serious. And Beneteau knows that. So the Oceanis 47 isn't trying to be radical. It's trying to be unbeatable at being normal. The main thing you need to understand is the hull shape. This boat is built around a full-length chine. That sharp edge running along the hull isn't just a styling line, it's doing real work. First, it boosts form stability. The boat feels stiff, not in a tank way, but in a this isn't going to flop over in the first gust way. That means you can carry sail without constant drama, and it also means the builder doesn't need to rely on an absurdly deep keel to make the boat behave. Second, the chine gives you grip when the boat heels. It helps tracking, reduces leeway, and makes the boat feel planted. Third, and this matters for cruising comfort, it pushes interior volume forward. This is how you get that modern owner's cabin experience, where the bed isn't a tapered triangle. You get a more rectangular, usable space, more like a proper room. Now, when you do this wide, modern hull shape, you almost always need twin rudders. This is not optional in 2026. If a boat is beamy and you have one rudder, it will eventually ventilate when heeled. You'll lose bite and steering gets sketchy exactly when you need control most. Twin rudders solve that. The leeward rudder stays vertical and deep, so you keep steering authority when powered up. Then there's the deck and cockpit. This boat is designed for the reality of cruising. People spend most of their time in the cockpit. So the cockpit becomes a patio. More room, better flow, social zones, less rope jungle. And Beneteau also knows some owners want more sailing engagement, so they offer performance-oriented packages that give you more sail power and a bit more edge without turning the boat into a race machine. So, here's the Oceanis 47 in one sentence. If you want one boat that does everything well, is easy to sell later, and won't surprise you with weird design choices, this is the smartest, safest pick in the 2026 production cruiser space. Okay, boat number 2, Hanse 360. This one is fascinating because it's doing something that should not be possible. It's making 36 feet feel like 40 plus. And that matters because a huge number of sailors are downsizing right now, not because they love smaller boats, but because they're tired. Tired of maintenance, tired of systems, tired of paying for big slips, tired of the physical load. But they still want comfort. They still want volume. They still want modern systems.
So the Hanse 360 is built around a simple cheat code, aggressive chines and a wide beam for its length. When you add those chines, the hull flares out above the waterline. That means you gain shoulder room and headroom where humans actually live, not just, look, we added a window. Real space. So in a 36-footer, you can have cabins and a saloon that feel like the next size class up. That is the entire point. Now, here's where Hanse goes even more 2026. Electric propulsion. Lots of brands offer electric as a niche thing. Hanse positions electric like a real path, not just we can do it if you insist, more like this boat is built to accept it properly. And in Europe, that's massive. You have waterways and lakes with combustion restrictions. You have cities moving toward cleaner marina infrastructure. And you have buyers who just want quiet. So when you can choose a meaningful electric drive and a serious battery bank, you start shifting what weekend cruising feels like. Silent departures, no diesel vibration, no fumes, less maintenance. Does electric solve everything? No. Offshore is still complicated. But for a ton of real owners, the usage pattern is coastal and weekend-based, and this is one of the first mainstream boats that seems to understand that. Then you add Hanse's modular interior approach, tons of layout options. That matters because 2026 buyers are not one person. Some are couples, some are families, some are liveaboards who need storage more than a third cabin. So the Hanse 360 is the pocket big boat. If you want modern volume and future-facing propulsion in a manageable size, it's one of the strongest plays in 2026. Okay, boat number 3. Dufour 48. This is the boat for the person who wants their boat to feel like a smart system, not just a hull with sails. Dufour's whole vibe here is outdoor living. They're chasing that catamaran envy in a monohull, and you see it immediately in the deck layout, including the idea of a forward cockpit lounge. That's rare on monohulls because space is precious and structure matters. But Dufour is engineering the deck like a lifestyle platform. You get zones, privacy, different rooms on deck. Now, the real story is their hybrid ecosystem. This is the difference between electric motor option and hybrid platform. A proper hybrid setup isn't just an electric motor. It's an energy management brain. It's batteries sized for realistic usage. It's generation that runs efficiently. It's solar integration that actually makes sense. And it's regen that gives you something back while sailing. When you have a system like that, your entire cruising rhythm changes. At anchor, you're not instantly thinking, do we run the engine to charge? You're thinking, how do we balance loads? You're thinking about silent mode. You're thinking about the boat as a closed loop, and that is exactly where Europe is heading, especially as marinas and regulations evolve. Now, the big fear with hybrid boats is always the same. Does it still sail well, or is it just heavy tech? And the reports and positioning around this generation of Dufour suggest the goal is still cruising performance, not just floating luxury. So here's the Dufour 48 in one sentence. If you want a modern luxury monohull that's designed around energy autonomy and smart cruising life, this is one of the most forward-looking platforms in 2026. Okay, boat number 4, Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 415. This one is the practical hero, because it solves a problem that nobody wants to talk about, but everyone feels. Moving around on deck is scary, not for the Instagram sailor, for real people, couples, kids, older sailors, people sailing tired, people sailing in chop.
Jeanneau's walk-around deck concept is one of the most meaningful safety shifts in modern cruising design. The idea is simple. Instead of climbing over cockpit coamings to reach the side deck, the deck flows. It slopes up. It creates a natural passageway around the boat. That reduces tripping, reduces awkward moves, reduces the one wrong step feeling. And for short-handed crews, it matters more than almost any new gadget. Now add the second huge thing, the swing keel option. This is the kind of feature that changes your cruising map. With a swing keel, you can reduce draft for shallow water access, tidal harbors, skinny anchorages, and then drop it deep for performance and stability when you want to sail properly. That means you don't have to choose between a performance cruiser and a shallow access explorer. You can be both. So the Sun Odyssey 415 becomes this Swiss Army knife boat. Safe deck movement, versatile keel, modern hull features like chines and twin rudders, and a package that fits a huge range of real cruising plans. If your dream includes exploring places with depth constraints, or you simply want to feel safer aboard every single day, the 415 is one of the smartest choices in 2026. Okay, boat number 5, Beneteau First 30. This is the disruptor. This is the boat that makes people rethink cruising because it's designed to do something cruising boats usually don't do: go fast on purpose. Most cruising boats are displacement boats. They're limited by waterline length. They tend to live in the 6 to 8 knot world, and that's fine until you realize how much time you spend getting somewhere. A planing cruiser changes the psychology. If you can surf and hit 10, 12, sometimes more in normal breeze, the passage becomes part of the fun. The boat feels alive.
And your weather windows get bigger because you can actually move. The First 30 is built with performance DNA, including collaboration and influence from high-performance thinking, and it's engineered to keep weight down. That's the entire trick. Light boat, modern hull, twin rudders for control when heeled and when blasting downwind, sail plan that makes sense. And it's not a stripped-out race boat, it's a fast cruiser. That matters, because the point is not suffering. The point is fun speed with enough comfort to weekend, cruise, and live on in a simple way. So, who is this boat for? It's for the sailor who gets bored on slow boats. It's for the person who wants the sensation of a sport boat but refuses to give up a basic cruising interior. It's for younger sailors, downsizing racers, and anyone who says, "I want sailing to feel something." If 2026 is specialization, the First 30 is the boredom killer. Okay, boat number 6, Moody DS48. This boat is basically a statement. I want monohull sailing, but I want catamaran living. The DS concept is all about deleting the classic monohull separation between inside and outside. Normally, you have the cockpit up top, and then you climb down into a darker saloon. You're disconnected, you lose sight lines, you lose airflow, you lose that feeling of being part of the environment. Moody makes the cockpit and saloon feel like one continuous space, same level, big sliding door, massive visibility. So at anchor, it feels like a floating apartment with a sea view. And underway, it means watchkeeping can be done from inside with serious visibility and protection. That matters a lot in colder climates, in harsh sun, or for crews who want comfort without giving up safety. And the DS48 is heavy. That's not an insult, that's the point. Heavy displacement brings motion comfort and payload capacity. These boats are designed to carry systems and stores without turning into a stressed-out toy. You can actually live aboard in a real way. So, the Moody DS48 is niche, but it dominates its niche. If your priority is comfort, protection, visibility, and this feels like a home, this is one of the most compelling monohull answers in the entire 2026 European market. Okay, boat number 7, Hallberg-Rassy 370. This one matters because it shows the conservative premium world adapting without losing what made it premium. Hallberg-Rassy is basically a brand built on trust. When people say blue chip cruiser, this is what they mean. And the 370 is interesting because it's modern. It adopts trends that mass production brands have already embraced, like twin wheels and twin rudders, but it wraps them in an execution mindset that's different. It's not, we added twin rudders because everyone does. It's, we engineered the whole boat around control in serious conditions. It's still a boat designed to be owned for a long time. Tankage, autonomy, build quality, the structural philosophy, that's the HR vibe. And it's also sized in a sweet spot. Under 40 feet is where costs stay somewhat sane. Slips are cheaper, maintenance is easier, handling is less stressful, and yet you can still cruise properly. So the HR 370 becomes the premium answer for the sailor who wants a modern cockpit and modern control, but refuses to play the production boat roulette game. If you view your boat like a long-term asset and you care about quality and resale more than flashy features, the Hallberg-Rassy 370 is that blue-chip choice. Now, here's the part most people get wrong. They watch a video like this, they pick the boat that seems best, and then they buy something that doesn't match their life. So let's do the end guide I promised. This is the 2026 decision framework. It's fast and it saves you from pain. Question 1. Do you want your boat to feel like a floating home first and a sailing machine second? If yes, you're in the monomaran comfort world. Your top picks are Moody DS48 for maximum one-level living and protection, Beneteau Oceanis 47 for the smart default comfort cruiser, and the Hanse 360 if you want the smaller, big feel version. If no, you want sailing engagement. Then, question 2. Do you want adrenaline speed or do you want balanced performance? If you want adrenaline speed, there's one clear answer here. Beneteau First 30. Planing cruiser, fun first, modern control. If you want balanced performance, then you ask the next question. Question 3. Is shallow access a core part of your dream? If yes, you want the boat that unlocks cruising grounds. Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 415 with the swing keel. If no, you're cruising deeper water and you want the smartest all-rounder. Beneteau Oceanis 47 or premium long-term Hallberg-Rassy 370. Now, question 4, and this is the new 2026 question. Do you care about energy autonomy and future propulsion enough that it changes what you buy? If yes, you're in the propulsion ecosystem category. Hanse 360 if you want a real electric-ready platform in a manageable size, Dufour 48 if you want hybrid integration as a core identity and a luxury lifestyle deck concept. And if you don't care yet, that's fine, but understand the market is heading that way, and resale may increasingly reward boats that were designed with energy systems in mind. So here's the final cheat sheet. Simple. Oceanis 47, smartest all-around volume cruiser. Hanse 360, maximum volume for size, future propulsion vibe. Dufour 48, tech-forward hybrid lifestyle platform. Sun Odyssey 415, safety and shallow versatility, real explorer energy.
First 30. Speed and fun. Planing cruiser, disruptor. Moody DS48, monohull that lives like a catamaran, comfort king. Hallberg-Rassy 370, premium blue-chip cruiser, modernized classic. Now, last thing. If you want, I can do a follow-up that's even more useful than this list. Which one should you buy based on budget tiers, used market alternatives, and the 3 options that actually matter versus the options that are pure brochure bait? If you want that, comment your plan in one line. Where you want to cruise, how many people, and what you value most. Comfort, speed, shallow access, or energy autonomy. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.